They said the pyramids were tombs, but when scientists stepped inside, they heard something impossible. The stone itself was humming. Not an echo, not wind, but a deep, resonant vibration, as if the pyramid was alive. For centuries, people believed these monuments were silent relics of the dead, but what if they were built not for burial, but for sound? In 1993, a team of acoustic engineers entered the Great Pyramid of Giza to record its internal resonance. When they played a single tone, the chamber responded with a frequency of exactly 432 hertz, a frequency long associated with harmony, healing, and the vibration of the earth itself. The sound didn't fade, it amplified. The entire stone structure began to resonate, vibrating through the floors, the air, even the bones of the researchers. One of them later said, it was like the pyramid was singing back. Ancient Egyptian texts spoke of the voice of the gods and stones that respond to prayers. Most scholars dismiss this as poetic metaphor, but modern measurements suggest otherwise. The Grand Gallery, the King's Chamber, and even the hidden shafts are aligned in a pattern that allows sound to travel and merge into perfect resonance. Every corridor, every block, every joint acts like a tuning fork. The entire pyramid, in essence, is an instrument. This wasn't coincidence. The blocks were placed with microscopic precision, gaps thinner than a human hair, allowing sound waves to bounce and sustain. The granite used in the King's Chamber contains 55% quartz crystal, one of the most efficient materials for transmitting vibration. That's the same element used in modern resonators and radio transmitters. How did ancient builders know this? And why did they design a monument that sings? Perhaps the answer lies in a forgotten concept, the word of creation. According to the ancient Egyptians, the universe began not with light, but with sound. They called it Heka, the sacred utterance, a vibrational force that shaped matter itself. Priests believed that to speak with the right tone was to command the gods. If this was their belief, then perhaps the pyramids were not tombs, but amplifiers, machines designed to recreate the voice of creation. Inside the King's Chamber, researchers noticed another strange effect. When two people hummed the same note, their voices merged and created a standing wave that caused the air to shimmer. The vibration felt like static against the skin. Instruments malfunctioned. The sound was invisible but powerful, enough to disrupt sensors and in some cases triggered dizziness and nausea. Modern physicists call this resonant coupling, but the ancients called it the sound that opens the gate. What gate? The priests of Heliopolis spoke of a portal through which gods communicate with men. The texts describe initiates lying inside a stone box, the so-called sarcophagus, while priests chanted specific tones. Those who survived the ritual emerged claiming to have seen the light of Ra or walked with the dead. It sounds like myth until you realize the frequencies involved can trigger altered states of consciousness. Sound waves between 7 and 8 hertz can synchronize with human brain waves, producing visions, calm, or terror. The pyramid structure naturally amplifies those frequencies. In other words, the Great Pyramid was designed to tune the human mind. Some researchers believe this wasn't accidental, that the ancient Egyptians, inheritors of a lost civilization, understood the power of resonance and built the pyramids as giant harmonic temples. The pharaohs may have used them not just for ceremony, but for transformation. Imagine standing inside, darkness all around, a single chant rising, echoing, multiplying until the walls themselves begin to breathe. To ancient ears, this would sound divine. To ours, it sounds like technology. In 2018, a group of Russian scientists conducted an experiment using lasers to scan the internal structure of the Great Pyramid. What they found shocked them. The chambers and corridors formed geometric ratios identical to acoustic resonance chambers used in modern engineering. When they simulated sound waves through a 3D model, They discovered the energy focused not upward, but downward, into a point deep beneath the pyramid, a focal zone. What was it meant to power? There are ancient references to something called the Stone of Ra, a crystal said to rest beneath the pyramid, capable of capturing the sun's energy and converting it into the living voice of the god. Legends say it emitted a sound like a lion's roar. When the priests spoke the right words, it answered. Could this be mythologized memory of a device, a resonator or energy converter, buried under Giza? The Greeks later wrote that the pyramids spoke during ceremonies at the solstice. They described a low hum that carried across the desert, as if the earth itself were responding. Modern geologists know that seismic waves can interact with hollow chambers to create audible tones, a phenomenon called earth resonance. Combine that with the pyramid's geometry, and you have a natural amplifier connected to the planet's own frequency. It wasn't just sound from men to gods, it was the Earth's voice, returning the call. But this harmony may have had a darker side. Some ancient accounts warn that the Song of Ra once became so powerful it shook the heavens. Temples collapsed, rivers boiled. The gods closed the mouth of the earth. Could this describe an accident? A resonance so strong it caused destruction? Modern science knows that sound at the right amplitude can shatter glass, destabilize structures, even kill. If the pyramids were part of a global resonance network, one miscalibration could have catastrophic effects. This idea gains weight from recent findings beneath Saqqara, where archaeologists discovered smaller pyramids containing strange, bell-shaped chambers carved into solid rock. Their acoustic properties are identical to the king's chamber, yet there are no hieroglyphs, no mummies, no offerings. Just perfect sound chambers. Some speculate these were testing sites, prototypes for the Great Pyramid's harmonic technology. In 2020, infrared scans revealed heat anomalies along the north face of Giza's Great Pyramid, rectangular zones warmer than surrounding blocks. Experts dismissed it as thermal expansion. But one independent physicist noticed something else. The warm areas matched the points where resonance simulations showed the highest sound pressure. In other words, the pyramid still vibrates, not mythically, but physically. It seems impossible that a 4,000-year-old monument still hums with energy. But maybe that's the point. The ancients may have built something eternal, a self-sustaining resonator that channels the Earth's heartbeat. When sunlight strikes the limestone casing, when desert winds sweep through hidden shafts, the structure awakens. It's not alive, but it responds. If that's true, then we've misunderstood Egypt's monuments for millennia. The pyramids were not built to honor death, but to preserve life, a technology to maintain balance between heaven, earth, and the human spirit. Over time, the rituals faded, the chants were lost, and the machine fell silent. What remains is stone, and the faint echo of what once was. Today, tourists walk through the king's chamber, snapping photos, unaware that every sound they make triggers 1,000 reflections. Some leave feeling dizzy, euphoric, or deeply moved, unaware they've just been part of an ancient ritual. The pyramid doesn't need priests anymore. Every voice is enough to wake its memory. In the early 2000s, one acoustic engineer secretly placed sensors along the passageways of Giza. When he replayed the data, he found subharmonic frequencies, below human hearing, repeating every 12 hours, synchronized with sunrise and sunset. The pyramid was still speaking, but to whom? Perhaps to the same intelligence that guided its builders, perhaps to the earth itself, or perhaps to us, waiting for someone to listen again. Because maybe the pyramids never stopped speaking. Maybe we just forgot how to listen. Subscribe to World History Secrets, where ancient echoes still whisper the truth.